Recently, Vivziepop posted to Blue Sky, "Hey guys, just a reminder, Stolas is alive, don't worry. If you're out of the loop of what's going on, don't worry, it's not going to take that long to get up to speed." It's easiest to explain if we go back to 2023. This is when the YouTube channel Dwinny uploaded their first video, which was titled Goodbye Horses. The video is set to a song by the same name by the band called 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒. What you see at first is horses running towards Blitz. It pans over from there and showcases Fizz's injuries. A moment later you see Blitz's shocked family. As he's about to pass out, you notice that it blurs as if we're from the perspective of Blitz losing consciousness. Moments later, the love note that started the fire starts to fly upwards, showcasing the end of the video and rolling the credits. Now there's a lot that you can deduce and take away from this animation, so I'm going to leave it in the description so that people can go and watch it for themselves. One thing that I think is cool though is that if you actually go and read the comments, you can see that a year ago, the animator did mention that they had more animations planned down the road. This comment was referencing new Helluva boss animations, though they have also uploaded a large amount of Russian fan animations in the previous months. The only other link on their YouTube channel is to a Blue Sky, but unfortunately it's now deactivated. The newest video they've released is their second Helluva boss animation to date. This animation is titled Now That You're Gone, after a song by the same name that plays in the background. This one showcases seemingly an alternate version of Stolas living his life separate from Blitz. Throughout the animation, it cuts back and forth between Blitz, who is supported by 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒, and Stolas, seen with Stella. You can see in the background of the scene where Stolas stares directly into the camera, how the four photos showcase different parts of his life. His book representing his title, his wife, his daughter, and him shaking Andrelphius's hand, representing his job and stature. They all slowly change into four pictures of Blitz, showing how it's become his whole focus and obsession. Also of note is that the flowers in the background wilt, showing how long he's been focused on him. Along with this is the interesting reference to Apology Tour, where the mirrors in the background become shattered, showing even more photos of Blitz just like in the official episode. Towards the end of the animation, we see Stolas donning Paimon's clothes before it holds on a frame of Stolas staring directly at the camera. Moments later, it cuts to him taking his own life in front of the IMP headquarters. As the camera pans out, Blitz runs past telling him to wake up. And now for the part I think most people were definitely waiting for, which is my interpretation of it. So what I think's going on is that this is a continuation of the pilot Stolas, and what may have ended up occurring in the show had their relationship continued in that way. It's interesting to see how even though the animation is less than 2 minutes, there's so many details littered throughout it. The most apparent effect that is seen throughout the animation is how many times Stolas' pupils flash on the screen. It's interesting to see how it's almost like he's using his second set of eyes to see where Blitz is in his life, much like how he could see Blitz in the first episode while in the bath. There's also 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒 and Millie helping him up, and them using their tail to flick one of the gold feathers away from him. The feathers themselves being a reference to the bad trip that they took in Truth Seekers, where Blitz showed he was fearful of their relationship. I like how throughout the animation, Stolas goes from being seen with a large grouping of people at a party to just Stella, and then ultimately alone, while the opposite happens for Blitz, first being alone and then shown with more people supporting him. Originally when the video was posted, the only warning that appeared was the one in the beginning mentioning blood. Most people who view the show know that it will be violent, however, so it took people off guard seeing a red mist tier event occur within the video. Later on, either by the creator or by YouTube, a warning was placed over the video before it even begins, now mentioning how self-harm is depicted in the video to give people fair warning. Most likely this can be chalked up to the artist having a language barrier, as they predominantly post Russian content on the platform, meaning they most likely didn't know how they had to word the content warning at the beginning of the video for the content at hand. The video got posted to other websites like TikTok without many of the content warnings almost immediately. A lot of the times it was posted on Twitter in GIF form as a reply to other posts as a quote retweet. It didn't take long for Twitter users to start finding out about the animation and spreading it around. Before it had the content warning for YouTube put onto it, the video was even showing up as the first video option when you searched up the show. People started to praise different aspects of the animation, while others talked about things such as the lack of warning that was present when the video first aired. A lot of the early posts that you see around it are mainly people not knowing what it is yet, or people being shocked by its contents. Ultimately, it didn't take long for drama to get started about people comparing the writing of the animated video to that of the show itself. I won't lie, it was pretty funny to see someone try to say Stella looking away was character development. Most of the criticism revolved around the idea of the short having better writing than the actual show, which I don't really find to be true. Simply because it had a different take on their relationship doesn't really mean much, as I'd bet if it went in that direction there would still be people complaining about it being too romance focused anyway. One thing I personally feel that was done better, at least in the fan animation, was that the humor of Blitz showing up was better timed than many moments in the actual show. I felt certain moments in the show, such as near the execution scene, had poorly timed humor to relieve the situation, given there was no time to absorb the moment after a long amount of build-up. At the same time, it's not like the show never knows when to allow drama drama to pan out, as we saw them not immediately cut to a joke in the middle of Blitz's breakdown. Other than the argument over whose writing is better, there was also a lot of fan art that was drawn based on the animation, with some being comfort art to help people that weren't fans of the outcome. It's interesting to see how different artists are able to take the same scene from the animation and depict it in a multitude of styles, and ways compared to the original animation, which mimics the show style quite closely. The animator also posted on YouTube fan art of the animation showcasing it as an actor's AU from the account Doria Plume. This is the second post that they've made on this section of their account, with the first being an aftermath of the circus with Blitz alone in the center of it. Ultimately, all of this attention ended up with Vivziepop herself seeing it and complimenting the skill the artist had and the work they'd produced. She also threw shade at people who were talking about how the actual show would be better if Stolas did die, like in the fan animation, before saying how people should simply be normal about a piece of art made by a fan of the show. In the last few days, multiple people have since made a GIF out of the scene and used it to mass popularity, with multiple tweets getting tens of thousands of likes while using it either as a quote retweet or just in general. While I don't think that it should have originally been posted without the content warnings eventually put on it, I think it's overblown that people are throwing hate the artist's way over the animation simply because of what's depicted in it. There's a ton of posts on platforms like Twitter with similar or darker themes depicted all of the time, with even looser content warnings, if any at all. And even with them being popular, people don't seem to complain on them. Just today I came across on my timeline a Stolas body horror alternate universe, where his tongue is cut out by Stryker, which is interesting, seeing how in the actual episode, he was moments away from permanently blinding him, a graphic topic itself. Another post I came across being a Yandere Stolas scenario, with kidnapping involved. I'm not saying that either of these people posting these topics need to blur every image, or spam content warnings on their posts. I'm mainly just using them as examples to show that the fandom is no stranger to dark subject matter, seeing as the show itself explores violence and relationship drama a lot. Hopefully in time people can look back on the animation and primarily enjoy the effort put into it without any of the current drama surrounding it, which will most likely dissipate in the coming weeks. It's nice to know people are defending the artist, and hopefully we'll see more fan art from them soon, as they clearly strive to improve in animation and are highly skilled. It's amazing to think that a show that has been in development since 2019, over 6 years now, continues to have a strong fan base constantly making new art for it. If it wasn't for fans that dedicated their time to make fan art and animations in between official content droughts, who knows how large the fandom would be. And in turn, because of that, how much funding the show would be able to procure for merchandise sales throughout the year, allowing for the show to be released as the creators want it to, rather than have it be possibly butchered on the timeline of a corporation or other entity. This isn't to say that the show is perfect or that it's limitless due to its funding model, but personally, I feel that the fact they don't have to rush for Helluva Boss means that we're going to get a better product than otherwise. Overall, it'll be interesting to see what becomes popular next in the fandom, and soon enough people will move on to the next big thing happening online. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to see the newest horse racing test that was just uploaded. I'm rooting for Cyan. I know this video was pretty long, so I just wanted to say thank you to the people who stuck around until the end. I hope it's obvious that I have a pretty big passion for this show and the fan base, and I hope to make more content going forward, even if I'm just starting out with my goofy commentary and opinions on the show. I hope in time I'll be able to talk about more shows, or just more ways to entertain in general going forward. Since you made it this far, I'll give you some ideas on what I'm planning to make going forward. Other than just general memes and compilations for the show, I hope to do a ranking of the 3 seasons of the shows currently out, along with a deep dive into the theology that's apparent throughout both. I don't know how much people are interested in that sort of thing, but if there's someone like me that enjoys the same topics, I hope they one day find my video, even if it's way down the line. For the meantime though, I'm going to try to focus on improving my editing and preparing for those videos. I appreciate all the support from everyone. Until next time, farewell.